Okay, hopefully you can hear me now. I'll get started. All right, so as I was saying earlier last week, we talked about how to set up the box that you're going to use for 80% of the materials that come into your warehouse for Metro White Glove to properly protect it before it goes out on a line haul truck so it gets to destination in the same condition that we received it in. So if you remember, we put edge guards on all 12 edges of the box. We use 1.5 to 2 inch styrofoam on all 6 sides of the box, bottom, 4 sides, and the top. We also protected the piece before we put it in the box. This is a nightstand. So we protected the nightstand, put it in the box, and then there was a little bit of space left in the box. There are some voids in there, air pockets. So we filled those air pockets with dunnage, clean, soft dunnage. Filled those air pockets in, so once we close the box, it's not going to shift around in the box while it's bouncing down the highway. Okay, so once we have that all set, we will put the top on, put the edge guards around the top, seal it. Then we're going to use black shrink wrap on all 6 sides of the box. So the box is completely covered with black shrink wrap. Easily recognizable as a Metro White Glove product. And then we're going to put all the labels, the Pinnacle label and whatever critical labels we need to put on that box to identify how to handle it properly. We'll go over some of the labels today. So today we're going to talk about different product that you should have in your warehouse to protect the Metro White Glove items as they come through. And starting next week, we're going to be talking about specific items. So next week, we're going to do long, thin leg tables, how to protect those legs so they don't get broken as they're going through our line haul system. So we'll take it from the very beginning of the process all the way through packaging it in a box or a crate. All right, so let's get started with this week. This week, the first item we have is black shrink wrap. Just talked about black shrink wrap. It's used to identify Metro White Glove boxes. And another thing that's good for is it holds the box nice and tight, so it keeps its form and it strengthens the box. Black shrink wrap. Okay, the next item we have is blue tape. You use blue tape on furniture, it's less likely to leave residue on the furniture, but still you want to try and not put it on finished surfaces. It can still damage the finished surface occasionally, so when you're taping the Pinnacle label or something else to that piece of furniture as a temporary fix, you're trying not to tape it to the finished surface so you're not damaging the finished surface. Blue tape. All right, the next item is brown paper pads. Brown paper pads are very useful. They come in, wide sheets. You would wrap pictures, mirrors, glass shelves, mirror brackets. There's many things that you'd wrap in the brown paper pad to protect it before you put it in the box. Another good use for brown paper pads we'll talk about when we get to the parts box is when you have parts and you have hardware, if you wrap the parts bag in the brown paper pad, it's easier to find destination. It's more identifiable. Brown paper pads. Okay, so the next item is bubble wrap. Everybody's used bubble wrap. As you know, there is a smooth side to the bubble wrap and the bubble side. You put the smooth side to the product, bubbles facing out, but if you want to get the maximum protection out of the bubble wrap, you have to use 2 layers. The one layer facing out around the product, and then a second layer with the bubbles facing the other bubbles. That way you're going to have maximum protection with bubble wrap. That's the way it's manufactured to be used properly, okay? Bubble wrap. All right, we've already talked about dunnage several times. Again, you get a lot of product in your warehouse every day from your final mile delivery teams. They're bringing back empty boxes. They're bringing back a lot of clean dunnage that you can use to pack into the used boxes to help protect the Metro White Glove items that you're shipping out. Okay, so plenty of dunnage available for you to use. Okay, of course, the next thing is cardboard boxes. The thing about the cardboard boxes that you want to use, you don't want to use a single layer cardboard box. It's not going to, the corrugate is not going to protect them very well. So you want to use at least a double layered cardboard box or a triple layer cardboard box. If a tri-wall box is always the best to protect the items as we're transporting them. And make sure when you pick a box that it is in good condition. It's already been beat up once. We want to make sure it's in good condition so it can protect that item as it goes through our line haul system again. Next item is corner guards. There's all kinds of corner guards to protect the corners of items, so when they get hit on the side, you're not damaging the corners of the wood. You have a basic cardboard one, or you have anywhere up to a heavy-duty styrofoam and cardboard. This is going to take a lot of punishment before the piece that it's holding is going to get damaged. So make sure you use corner guards when you need to protect those items as they're being transported through the system. The corrugated cardboard wrap that we use comes in sheets about this long. Again, I showed it to you earlier, but it's a single layer of corrugate. You would wrap an item in the soft foam that I'm going to show you in a minute, and then you'd wrap it in the corrugate, then put it in the box. That's going to give you maximum protection for that item and make sure it doesn't get damaged while it's being transported. Okay, so you have the solid crate. Solid on all sides. You can't see the item that's in the crate. And you have a slat crate. Slat crate is just to hold the item, give it a little bit extra protection. One thing about slat crates, when you're using a slat crate, you have to pack the item in the box first, protect it in that box the way you normally would for a box move, and then you put that box in the slat crate. You don't ship the item by itself in the slat crate, okay? Again, when you're packing just about everything that you pack, you're going to put edge guards on it. All 12 edges of the box. You can use them in crates as well. It really helps to protect the edges of the product as it's being moved through our system, especially when somebody's coming along and hooking it with a two-wheeler. This is going to protect that piece from the two-wheeler as it's the tongue sliding underneath it. Next item is glassine. Glassine has a very specific use. It's like wax paper, and it's used to protect oil paintings while they're being shipped. It's acid-free. It's less likely than anything else we use to stick to oil paintings. So when you're moving an oil painting, it gets fully wrapped in glassine before you wrap it in the other items that you're going to pack it in. So either the box or the crate, you're going to wrap it in glassine first. Okay. We all know movers pads. Okay, very useful, very versatile, but we want to use these as a last resort. We want to use all of the clean, free dunnage that we get from our final mile teams, recycle that before we use a mover's pad. Use the mover's pad as a last resort, but if this is the best way to protect the item, then by all means, use your mover's pad. You should all have, this is a small bag, but you should really have gallon-size Ziploc baggies for parts, hardware, keys, anything loose that you're going to be transporting with an item for Metro White Glove that you have to disassemble or you need to keep with that product. Put it in unprinted newsprint. Wrap it really tight in unprinted newsprint so it all stays together. Put it in a gallon-sized baggie. Then wrap that baggie in the brown paper pad I showed you earlier. You're going to label all of these things with key, hardware, whatever's inside of it. So everybody knows, hey, there's a key in that box. Hey, there's a key in that brown paper pad. And it's much easier to find than just one small little key in the box somewhere. All right, so parts bags. All right, everybody should have plenty of these. It's a safety knife. Of course, you want to use this when you're opening any boxes to protect the furniture. It usually has a sharp point here that you can use to cut the tape with, and then you can use the safety edge of the knife to cut your box. Okay, so everybody should have safety knives. You should be using your safety knives. Okay, again, Final Mod teams bring in a ton of styrofoam every day. Keep the good thick sheets. It's easy to cut and fit into the boxes that you're packing items in. You want to make sure that when you're packing items, especially in boxes, that you have styrofoam all the way around the piece, all 6 sides of the piece, to give it full protection as it's going through our system. Soft foam. Again, when you are originally packing a piece like a nightstand, you're going to wrap it in the soft foam first. You're going to wrap it in the corrugate, and then you're ready to put it in the box that's already protected with styrofoam. Okay, so again, soft foam, everybody should have this to initially wrap the item in. It gives it that little bit of extra cushion. And the last thing I have today is unprinted newsprint. Well, not the last thing, but the last of this I have is unprinted newsprint. You use it to wrap, like I told you earlier, parts, hardware, keys, any small items. You put it in here, wrap it up, put it in that gallon-sized baggie, and it's less likely to get lost during transit. Okay, you can also use this to wrap lamps, lampshades, use it as filler dunnage in the box if you need to. Okay, so again, unprinted newsprint, everybody should have this available to them. Last thing I want to cover with you today is the different labels that you will use for the outside of the box. I just have a few of them that I wanted to go over. All right, of course, this side up labels. Coming into your facility, you see the this side up labels. You should move it with the arrows pointed up. You should store it with the arrows pointed up. Okay. Please handle with care, fragile. You use this when the items inside the box or the crate are truly fragile. That gives everybody else behind you the information they need to know. Hey, I don't need to drop this off of the top of the tier in the line haul trailer. It could damage the piece as it's falling down. So need to take special care with these fragile items. Okay, again, fragile glass. Everybody knows that there is glass inside that box. They need to take special care of that box. You know, handle it with special care. All right. Do not tip. When you see a do not tip label, it's more than likely a very fragile item in that box or crate. It was packed in a certain way to stay standing up exactly the way it is. If you tip it one way or the other, the piece could shift inside the box or the crate, damaging the piece. So when you see a do not tip label, please keep that piece as upright as possible. And again, when you're packing hardware or keys or anything small like that, you're going to wrap it in the unprinted newsprint. You're going to put it in the gallon baggie. You're going to wrap it in the brown paper pad, and you're going to put these on the outside of the brown paper pad and on the outside of the box. So if you have 3 or 4 boxes, you and the customer know, hey, in this box, this is where the keys are. I need to look for those keys in this box. This is where the hardware is. I need to open this box first so I can get the hardware out. So as I'm pulling things out, I can start assembling them. Okay, just little keys and little helpful items as you're going through. That is everything I have for today.